And it was funny because they were like, these little images you would share were like, it would flip between two things on your GeoCity site, like a cat and laser beams, cat, laser beams, cat, laser beams, right? Those types of things, making weird faces at me. So
You got up
I couldn't
really
sleep.
early.
Well, before that, you were snoring,
Mm.
and I had to leave because of that. But then I really couldn't sleep. So I woke up at like 5 a.m, and got back to work because I realized that we were kind of stuck in our own little microcosm of creating a place where people could browse inspiration from multiple different websites, 1,000 different sites, and then save those frames, freeze frames, things that they thought were most impactful, as a favorite or create a collection in FrameReel. I'm trying to get the first version of FrameReel out. So I've been constantly kind of in that world of, all right, how and why did we even get there in the first place? Like, all right, so we're thinking about FrameReel, and then I'm trying to explain what that is on a marketing website. But I ended up realizing that we needed to zoom out a little bit and think about how most people consume the internet right now. Because we're doing both things at the same time. Katie and I and the rest of the UX movie team, right? We're looking at one particular slice of the web, first of all, which is companies that are on the edge of technology. They're companies that are coming out on Product Hunt. They're companies that are launching and debuting and breaking through kind of the barriers that have.
They're launching cool stuff,
We're
right?
launching cool new stuff and exciting new stuff. And so what they're trying to do every time they debut this particular genre and group of companies, we'll think of them as tech companies or SaaS companies. They are using the internet in a very different way to tell stories about themselves than others who have come before them. And one of the things that I noticed is, like, if you look back in time and think about kind of the internet as a whole, the internet is in its 40s right now. It's in its 40s.
I mean, all I'm singing the internet is for porn in my head, but
But I mean, okay, see, the internet is in its 40s. And if it's in its 40s right now, on average, in the US, it would have children.
yeah.
And if you can think about it, the internet's children would be what age? Like kind of in their teenage years by now, maybe, or younger. So anywhere between elementary school and teenagers.
Or young 20s even. If the internet had kids young.
Yeah. And so I think at this point, this slice of the internet that we live in could safely be considered almost like its offspring, because it looks nothing like the original internet.
Well, that's why people say Web 2.0.
Yeah, but that,
3.0.
yeah, okay, so sure, those ways of thinking about it makes sense, but nobody has really called out the dramatic difference in the way these pages are designed, constructed, launched, and
What you mean?
put into the world.
We don't have scrolling text with blinking lights and banners and
Hot new
hot.
new on GeoCities with, I mean, the memes haven't gone anywhere. they've gotten better. They've turned into GIFs and Giphies instead of just like a squirrel holding a nut and like some sort of like image that you used to have, whatever. If you think about the format has changed over time, and it's changed without us even noticing it. And so since we are in it constantly for these companies that are trying to be breakthroughs, they're always thinking about the fold and the screen size and the screen in front of the audience. They're always thinking, how do we grab people's attention in the frame? How do we make the hero frame, the section of the page, exciting and enticing and draw people in? But that's only within the last couple of years. Maybe, okay, so maybe the last decade, right? Is you've been thinking, okay, now you've got this screen real estate. You have a hero section of your website or a header section of your website that is designed to do something in this way.
Yeah.
Most websites, you go back in time, they look like classifieds ads. They look like newspapers. They look like what we came from.
Well, yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
They look
That's
like
what
catalogs and magazines and classified
you have
ads.
to take people from where they were, right? From classified ads, newspapers. That's what they were used to. And we've slowly expanded their mental model.
So if
I'm
you,
dropping the word mental model expansion.
so I started writing this down for Frame Reel earlier today, and I wanted to say, like, we're going to eventually record this and make this more professional, but here's the overall like high level thing. Welcome to Frame Reel, where we see the internet a bit differently. So in the creation of Frame Reel, one of the things that we're doing is in the breakthrough area of the market, tech and SaaS, we're saying these are the things that are best designed to attract people, draw them in, get them curious. Here are some exciting things that draw attention, that catch attention, that bring attention. A lot of that ends up being what we all traditionally call kind of like clickbait, but some of it is healthy clickbait, some of it is, so anyway, so it's stuff that draws us in, that like when we look at the thing, we go, oh, what is
You're
that?
like,
You lean closer, you try to figure out what it is because you get the attention thing.
right.
But when
you dig deeper,
you start to realize, oh, wait a second, this is not quite what I wanted. Maybe
resonate?
it doesn't quite resonate with me. And that's the resonate part of the equation.
Right.
And so if we can take you from where you're at with all of the blind spots that you have because your flashlight is only shown in one direction.
Yep.
All of the blind spots that you have and open up an area of open-mindedness to show you the reality, the status quo that you have right now, and some brighter future out there on the internet. And then from that moment on, it is a conversation between the brand and the person who is now open-minded enough to consider whether or not they should use that thing to be friends and be part of the future. That's the conversation. So anyway, the reason why I got into this morning and thinking about it was I was like, well, okay, so we're going to help people craft better frames. The web is basically consumed through frames now. The new sites that are designed to attract, resonate, and compel, they go frame by frame by frame by frame by frame to do that with you. The videos, all the content is organized by frames. So what if we gave everybody the ability to customize the frames they want to see? What if we made it easy for them to maybe even heart their favorite frames from sites? So thinking about how people consume that information, could you develop a way of thinking about how to design that information and build that into UX Movie so that people can start thinking frame by frame and go, okay, these are the frames that I think that we should deliver. When I launch on Product Hunt and people receive my stack, this is what I want them to see. So anyway, that would be our update for this morning, but it's also a good foundational direction for what the explanation for Frame Reel and UX Movie are going to be as we build out marketing websites for both. So I've already written kind of an outline for the Frame Reel site in Webflow explaining that we see the internet a bit differently.